afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Claritysoft training webinar. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. I'm Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at Claritysoft, and our topic for today is lead management. The leads module in Claritysoft allows you to enter new leads and then begin to work with them so that you can qualify them, move them on to create a sales opportunity and hopefully win that sale. Our goal today with the webinar is to give you some ideas on how to get information into the leads module and set it up and then work with it. So first of all, we're going to talk about what the leads module is, what it's designed to do. Add some custom fields to the leads module, because when you add custom fields to the leads module, that might be fields of data that you're collecting to help you qualify the lead, gather information about what their interests are. You can also create those same custom fields in your accounts, contacts, and opportunities modules so that when you convert the lead, that data will transfer across. So it's a good thought to think, to come up with some ideas for custom fields in your leads module if you use it. Then there are different ways to create new lead records. You can manually create them, you can import data, or we have a web form that you can create so that on your website you can have a web form for people to enter their information, and then that will connect to the leads module and bring the data in. So I'll walk you through that, the steps for preparing for that. Once the leads are in, you start to work with them to contact them, update their status as to what they are, their stage, put in your activities, all of that helps you work with that lead to bring that lead in. And then once you've qualified them and they're ready to move forward, you convert that lead to create your account, your contact record, and a sales opportunity so that you can then move forward to win the sale in your opportunity. So those are the topics that we will cover this afternoon. So I have my Claritysoft already open, and I am in the leads module. You can see down here I have 115 leads right now, and currently I'm looking at leads that have a status of new. Up here at the top, these filters are already built in where you can look at all your new leads. You can look at the leads that you're currently working with. You can look at leads that you have converted. I don't have any right now. And you can look at leads that you have closed. Those are the 4 status types for leads. A closed lead would be one that you've just contacted, they're not interested, and you just say, okay, we're going to close this lead. And then you can return back to them later perhaps and try to bring them back on board. And then this one will show you all leads regardless of the status. So make sure you pay attention to the filters up here, same as the other filters in the rest of Claritysoft. Also, I do want to point out that the leads module is optional. You do not have to use it. It depends on your sales process, your sales team, whether you want to use the leads module. It was originally designed for those people who attend many trade shows or networking events or purchase leads lists to be able to import lists of the attendees or lists of leads that you've purchased into the module and begin working with them there. And it saves you from, let's say, cluttering up your account and contacts modules with unqualified leads. So it is a way to do that. Also, if you are going to use the web form to bring the information in, it will come into the leads module only. It will not go anywhere else. So it is optional. You could start out using your database without using the leads module and then later decide to turn it on so people can see it and begin to use it. So it's flexible from that standpoint. The first thing we may want to think about is some custom fields in the record. So I'm going to open a record here. We have our basic fields in here. This is very similar to the account record. The only difference is in the leads module, your company and your contact are in the same record. When you convert the lead, then this gets split where the conversion creates an account record for the company and all its information, and it creates a contact record for the contact person in the lead. Once it's over in accounts, that then gives you the ability to add multiple contacts to the same account record. In leads, you have one contact per company here. So if you had 2 people at a Grape Time winery, you would actually create 2 lead records. When you convert them, Claritysoft will merge them together under one account name. So I've got some fields in here. Basic address fields. This is your status field that you'll continue to change. You don't see the word converted here because when you convert the lead, Claritysoft actually fills that in for you. The stage field, this is customizable. If you have not done anything with your leads yet, you will see different stages here. And you may put whatever stages you want. Suggestion is to use your earliest sales stages that then when you convert the lead and create a sales opportunity, your sales stages and your opportunity record will continue forward with the next steps, assuming that you've already done a lot of the qualification in the leads module. Then the quality is also customizable where you can have good, average, bad, hot, warm, cold, whatever terminology you use, you may modify this quality drop-down list. And then your lead sources, again, this applies throughout the entire database. This is customizable in the settings. So the first thing I want to do to show you is how to add some custom fields in here, so that you know how to do that. So some of you may already know how to do this, and it will be a bit of a review, but I wanted to be comprehensive. So I'm going to do a save and close. In order to do this, you must have admin rights in your database. So when you click on Settings button up here in the upper right, you will see all of the different customizable settings here on the left. If you can only see down to this part, this first group, My Settings, you do not have admin rights. So you'd have to talk to the person who does to make these changes. So you want to go to Customization, and then you go to the Leads module. I have a bunch of custom fields in here. Notice I've disabled all of these so they don't show up. And I want to add a new one. So I'm going to add a custom field of industry type. I'm going to make it a drop-down multi-select, and then I will type my choices. And then you click Save. So what I'm trying to do when I'm working with a brand new lead, I'm trying to gather information and qualify this lead. Are they worth pursuing? You know, depending on what your business is, you might be trying to find out something like the number of employees, what's their annual income, what's their product interest, what's their time frame for purchase. All of these questions that you ask them when you're talking with them on the phone at the beginning of the sales process. So I'm going to create one more field here. And again, I'm going to make it a drop-down multi-select. And this is going to be really simple. And then save. So I have my 2 custom fields that I've added. The new ones will always be at the bottom of the list, so I can check them down there. The next step when you add a custom field is to put it into your user interface template. You want to put it into the layout for your screen. So you come over here on the left under customization, you see UI templates. And then you go to the lead UI template to open it. And in your database, you have different access profiles that you're using. You can look at your user list to determine which ones you're using. What we've done here to make it simple is you can go to the base template to start with. This is like your master template. And then over here, you'll see industry type. And then I can drag this and place it anywhere that I want to place it on the screen. I also can move fields that are already here somewhere else. So if I wanted to place website here, I can move these all around and rearrange my screen any way that I want. This is going to be the data entry screen for each lead record. And then I can save this. Once I've saved it, what I want to do is copy it to my other Access profiles. The easiest thing to do, if you don't really know which ones you're using, is to simply click Check All, click the little close to collapse the list. It will say 6 selected and then Save. So now if I switch over here to my all template, it looks exactly the same as the base template. So I have copied it. I don't have to redo each one. However, you can make each of your Access profiles different if you want. So once I've done that, my next step is I do need to log out and log back in. So those of you that are admin users know this. So I've added my custom field, and if I open my record now, I will see my industry type here with my choices. So I guess we can put this one in food and beverage, and I will see my product interest, and we'll just say they're interested in these 2 products. So I have that now for my leads, which becomes a way to search, categorize, and know what they're interested in. So my next step is getting new leads in here. As I said before, 3 ways to bring them in. Click on the new lead button to open a new lead record. Type the information in. Maybe you picked a business card up somewhere and you want to enter the information. So you can do it that way. The second way to do it is to import a list that you may have received from a leads list or trade show or something, and I have pre-prepared a little list here. So I have my company name, I have my first name and last name of the contact, I have a lead source. You don't necessarily need all this information, but perhaps this lead source might be all the same thing. If it came from a trade show or something like that, you could have trade show in here. If you gather LinkedIn, that would be another custom field that you would need to add. That's not in Claritysoft by itself. Title is the person's job title. Salutation is usually their first name. You have phone numbers. Now, here's another field that we usually recommend, especially if you're going to be doing regular imports into the database, because when you're importing data into the database, you are going into your existing records and they land in there, and then if you made some sort of error on the import, it's not really easy to find them and perhaps delete them. So what we recommend that you do is add a custom field in each of your modules that you will be importing into called import source. And then you can put, when you go to import your list, the file name or the trade show name or whatever you want to put in here. I've just put leads list from 514. That will go into that import source field, and then you would be able to use this to search on and pull up those records once you've put them in. So this is just a kind of a little insurance policy to help you if something does go wrong on your import. You can search for those records using that import source. And then we have address, city, state, zip code. I have a custom field in there called territory. The stage, I have the stage. Actually, what I did with this is I exported this list out so I could import it back in after I deleted the records. So anyway, I have my list and save it. I'm just gonna make sure I've saved it. And then I'm gonna push it back over here. so that I can go to the importer. The importer is up here, this tools menu. I call it the square of squares. And under here you have import. Now again, depending on your rights in your database, you may or may not have the ability to import, so someone else may have to do it for you. When you get to the data importer, you first of all select what module you are importing to. So you're going to select leads. In leads, you're creating new records only, so whenever you're putting new ones in, you're putting in new ones. Then you choose your file, and it's right here. Then the next thing, if it does, usually what it does is it has you select the worksheet. In this case, it decided I didn't need to, but if these fields don't show up, then you have to click here and select the worksheet, and then all the fields show up. Over here on the right, the red indicates that these are required fields. You must put in a company name, a first name, and a last name in order to import a lead record. If that's all you have, that's all you have, but these three pieces of information must be there. And then you have all your other Claritysoft fields down here, including the product interest, custom field, and where's my other one? Industry type. So now my job is to simply go down, click here, and say, okay, company space name is company no space name, okay? First name, last name, last name. Address 1 and 2 mapped automatically because they're spelled the same, city mapped. I don't have a contact mode column. Now, while you're doing the importer, you can have the spreadsheet open so that if you have a question on a field, whether you have it or not, you can look at the spreadsheet. I know I don't have these. Email mapped fax. Here's my import source, okay? I don't have industry type. I do have quality, but I'm going to pretend I don't know that yet because these are brand new leads, so I don't know. Lead source I do have in here. And status will be new by default. And then notice these are in alphabetical order, so down here is middle name if you have it. It's somewhat confusing because of that. And then mobile phone I have, owner is there. You might not have an owner field when you're importing. If you don't, then whoever is doing the importing, the owner of the record will default to that person. Phone number, postal code, zip code, prefix name we don't have, product interest. Salutation is a salutation field because I have a separate column, or what I usually do is I use the first name for the salutation, and then that puts the first name in there. Salutation is for first name, and if the person has a nickname, that's what you would put in that field, okay? Status here, territory here, title and website. So all my fields have been mapped, and then I come down and click import file, import data, okay. And now I see my list here. It has been uploaded, and I just wait a few seconds, click refresh, and because I only have 6 records, it goes in very quickly. So this tells me how many records were actually processed. There were 6. This tells me how many were inserted. All 6 went in. And then if you get a number over here of 2 or something like that, that will tell you how many records it's skipped. And you will receive an email telling you what records it skipped and why, so that you can go back to your spreadsheet and figure it out. So that's a quick review of importing. I can go back now to my leads module, and I have purposely pulled up my creation date field by going here to the vertical ellipsis button, column settings. I can drag these over and do my creation date. So while I'm here, I'm going to pull my industry sort type over and my last touch date and product interest. So this allows you to set up your columns that you wish to see. And down here, you can choose which column to sort by and how many records you want to see on your screen at once. I always set it to 100 and then click apply. And what I would like to do is see my 6 records that I just imported. So I'm going to click on creation date column to sort by the creation date. So this is going descending or ascending, and now I want descending. So here are my 514. So here are my 6 new records that I just brought in. So I'm ready now to start working with them. First of all, you want to make some sort of contact with them, or you want to schedule something to be done. Multiple ways to start doing this. Let's say I want to schedule a phone call for all 6 of these people in the next day, just to remind me to call them all. Or I might assign these to another person, because if the owner comes in for me, but I want to assign it to other people, I could first of all do a group edit and assign the user. Then I can select these over here, and I can go to list actions and choose new activity. And I'm doing for all records marked as checked. And then I can pick new lead initial phone call. Choose call as my type. Notice contact is yellow because I've selected multiple contacts, so I cannot put a contact name in there. Then I want to have it done by tomorrow, and maybe in the morning to let people know they should do this sometime in the morning. And you can choose to show an activity on the calendar if you want, or just send them a message and then put a note here if you want. And then when the person does this, whoever does it, will then put notes in that are results. So it can be, these are all going to be assigned to me, which is fine. And then these I'm not going to worry about. These are custom, so you won't see these in your activity. And then I can choose this if I want. So when I save this, what's nice is I now have associated with these 6 new leads a new open activity for this call that's due tomorrow. So I can select multiple records, assign activities. And notice you can add a new activity, or you can log an activity. If you did the same activity with all of these guys and you just wanted to log that you did it, then you can do a log activity. Also, if in your database you have action plans turned on, which some of you may or may not have, you can assign an action plan. So if you've created in your database a new lead follow-up action plan, then you can apply that action plan and it will drop in however many activities are in that plan. And then that all the dates would be calculated out. One way or another, you can get multiple activities going with your new leads. The other thing that you could do with your new leads to contact them would be to select them like I've done here and go to list actions and say email leads, which will then bring up an email form. It'll show you the leads, tell you how many there are down here at the bottom. So if you have captured email addresses for all of them, then you'll be good. It'll be from you, and then the subject line. And then down here, you can type hello, and you can insert the field that you want to insert here. So you can either do first name or you could do the salutation field, whichever one you know is the most accurate. And then click OK. Notice you have other fields that you can pull in. You could pull in the company name and whatever, and then you can start typing your email. So on and so forth. And then if you have your signature in here, you can insert your signature. And then if you want to attach a document or if you want to put a link in here, you can design your template and save it. Notice down here, once you type this, you can save it as a template. So if you haven't created it first, you can still save it as a template and then have it. And then once you're ready, you simply click the send button and all of those people will be sent that email that you've just created. You can send an email out. Only caution on that is if you are sending it out using your Outlook or Gmail, if you use Gmail, you do need to be careful on how many you're sending out at one time. So that you may have to check what the limits are on that. If you have purchased our marketing module and are using our server to send through, then you can go to marketing email and send this out through the marketing module and email server. So that's there. So you have your activities that you start to do. Once you've set up some activities, just like the other modules, you can go to the activities module to see what you have scheduled. I didn't schedule those calls to be made today, so I don't have anything on the schedule for today. But if I look at future activities, there are all my calls to make. Now, this is another thing I want you to notice in the activities module. When you are in activities, and you see the name of the account and the name of the contact have asterisks next to them, that means that this is for a lead record. As soon as this gets converted to become an account, then those asterisks go away. So when you are looking at, we'll just go to all activities, then you will see no asterisks next to the ones that are actually accounts that you've done, you have activities for. And then also remember, in activities, you have your vertical ellipsis button, column settings, and pull information over, because all of these are phone calls. So if I come here, I can pull the phone number and the mobile phone number over. And if I wanted to do emails, I can also pull the email address over. So do that, because now you've got your phone number right here. You have your email. If you click on it, you can email. So that's all right in front of you. And then also, if you click on this expand button for your activities, then you will see all the information about, I believe this just pulls from accounts though, the account. So that will help you too. But put these in the columns so that you have the information here and you don't have to go back to find it. So I wanted you to know that the asterisks are there. Now let's go back to our leads module. Let's just say we're working with the Blue Moose Winery. And I've talked with them. They are in food and beverage. They have a product interest of product 2. And I would fill this in, and then as I'm working with them, I'm going to change the status to working. And then I'll start working my stages. Where am I with them? Making them aware of us. Evaluating them, qualifying them. If they don't go anywhere, they're exhausted. So let's say I'm at the awareness stage and they seem to be a pretty good quality lead. So I would continue to update. I'm going to click on save just to save the information and leave the record open. Then I can go here to my activities, and if I call, I then can open this, type my notes, Put in lots of detail so you have it. And then note I have the option of completing the activity or doing complete and adding a new activity. This is very helpful because this makes you schedule the next activity. So if you click complete and new, it's going to complete your current activity, and you hardly notice the difference, but the subject line went away. It retained call, it retains the contact and everything here. And what you do now is, I'll just put second lead call, and it can be a call, or maybe it's an email, or maybe you've scheduled a meeting, whatever you've done as a result of your first call, and then you set the date. So maybe that's going to be next week. And again, I can choose a time if I want, and this one I could show on my calendar, and then I could put a note. I usually put in here, you know, what kind of preparation do you need to do so that you can remind yourself what you talked about and what you need to talk about on the next meeting. And then I can save it. So now I have a new call for the 20th, and my completed call is now under closed activities. So that's how you can keep working, is you schedule a new activity and then you do a complete and new and keep yourself in touch. Also notice when you're in the lead record, you can send an email from here. This is to log an activity that's closed or completed, and this is to create a new activity. Or you click on the close tab, you click the plus sign, does the same thing. So multiple ways to complete the same things in here. And then I keep my details updated. Now notice what happens when I save and close the Blue Moose Winery. The Blue Moose Winery is no longer in my list here because it's no longer a new lead. So if I come up here and go to working, it's going to be here because I changed its status. So that's how you can help yourself filter out those leads that you're working with versus those that are brand new. And it kind of, again, keeps you moving forward. Now I could do this. If I started working with all of these leads, I can go to List Actions, Group Edit, select the status field, change them all from new to working. Click Apply. They will all disappear from my list right now. And then I go to the working filter, and there they are. So again, now I see them all over here, and I would continue working with them. So let's say we've been working with the Blue Moose Winery and they are ready to move forward. So the last step with working with our leads is to convert it. That's your goal, is to get it converted. So once you're ready to go, you want to make sure, first of all, that you have filled in everything in here. So all your address information is filled in, your phone information, all the custom fields, all that information is filled in. That way, when you convert the lead, this data will go across and you'll have a complete record in the account. Now, before I do this conversion, I want to do one quick thing because I want to show you this. As I said before, if you take a custom field in leads and you add it to accounts, contacts, and opportunities, then you can have that data will flow. So what I've done is I've gone to my leads module, I've opened up industry type. I'm going to copy this list. Then I'm going to go to the accounts module, and I'm going to add the custom field, industry type, and the spelling of the name needs to be the same, and the data type needs to be the same. And I'm going to paste the list and save it. And then I'm going to go down to opportunities. I'm on custom fields, and I'm going to add. And I could do this in contacts too. So you decide where you want it to go. Now again, because these are new fields, I need to quickly go to my account UI template. I'll just go to the all template to save time. I'm going to drag this over here. Now notice there's industry here, so I'll get rid of this one and save it. I'm going to click back, and I'm going to go to the opportunity UI template. I'll do this one, industry type. We'll bring this over and save it. Then log out. All right, so Grape Time Winery, ready to move forward. I've checked all their data. It's good to go. So I can come right here and click on this row action button, convert lead. The window that pops up tells you I'm going to create an account called a Grape Time Winery. The site field, if you know you already have another place with the same name, you can type something in there so it creates a unique record. Otherwise, leave it blank. The contact is Stella Rose, and it's assigned to, and you can assign this to any of your users. So it's possible you might have a team of people that are your leads generation people who go out and qualify all the leads, but then when you convert the lead, it gets assigned to another set of salespeople. So whatever way works with your company is what you want to do. And then you create your opportunity by clicking in the checkbox. So I'm actually going to make this assigned to me. And then click apply. Now what will happen, watch a Grape Time Winery disappear again. But where did it go? It went to converted. So Claritysoft automatically changes the status to converted for you. You do not have to do it. And once this is converted, you are not going to come back here and work with this. Now, one of the things I do want you to notice, if I go back into the record, this is fairly new. We now have a field for conversion date. So this is going to allow you to notice that you created this in December and you converted it in May. So this is how long it took you to get them to move forward. So this allows you to start seeing, well, you know, how long is our process taking us? And this conversion date can be visible in all the other modules in Claritysoft. And there's an opportunity conversion date, there's a quote conversion date. So all those are there and you can pull them in. If you go to your UI templates, you'll see all of those there. So I've converted this. Now I go to accounts and I look up Grape Time Winery and open the record. Note that all the data has come across, including the industry type. Food and beverage came over. And I didn't have this showing, but all your address information came over. Your contact person is Stella Rose, so it created a contact record for her, and all her information came over. Opportunity has been created. And I open my sales opportunity, and I'm able now to start working through my sales stages for my opportunity until I win my sale. So that's working with leads, bringing them in, working with them, assigning activities, doing the activities, sending emails, whatever you do. All those activities show up in your activities module or on your calendar or both, depending on where you put them. And they'll be in your calendar if you put them there. They'll always be in activities. And you qualify the lead and then you move it across by converting it. So that's lead management. One last thing, the web form. You go to settings, web forms, you have leads, and if you have the support module, you'll see that. But when you click on here, you have this form over here. So you get to choose, according to the data that you want to enter into your website form, what information you want the person to give you. So you can either do the contact name where the first and last name are together, or you can have the fields separated. You can get their phone number, whatever you're trying to get from them. There are custom fields down here too. So once you set those here, then notice over here you get to select what's required. So if you decide, well, we definitely want this, we want everything. Then down here, the lead owner, when the leads come in, they will all be assigned to one specific person. So if you have a sales manager that's going to manage that, they can all be assigned to that person, and that person can go in and then reassign them to other sales team members. You are able to use Google CAPTCHA. This is described in the support portal if you wanted to use that to prevent the spider guys from spamming your forms. And then you put the submit URL is when you fill in the form and you click submit, where does it take you? So I'm just going to put in here claritysoft.com, and then I'm just going to copy it and paste it. So then you can use standard style. Now, if you want a notification sent when a new form is submitted, you can have a little email sent to the contact person, and then you can type in here what you want as the text. You can have it sent to the owner of the record, which would be this person up here, to notify the owner that there is a new lead, or you can send it to a custom email, and then you can type in one or more emails here. So you can choose if you want a notification sent or not, and you get everything ready to go, and then you come down and you click generate code, and Claritysoft will generate the HTML code needed to make the connection between your web page and Claritysoft. And then you should be able to give this to your web developer and they can make that connection. Then to save the template, you click save, give it a name, and click OK, and then it will save it. And you can have multiple templates here. So I've got different ones here. And they can be connected to different web pages or websites. If you have multiple websites where you're capturing data, it can come in. So that's how you do a web form. Again, there's help with that on the support portal. So you can go out and check that out. And then if you still have further questions, you can probably talk to the tech support team and they can help you. That is all that I have for today on lead management. Thank you for attending today. Hopefully you learned some good, useful things that'll help you with using the leads module or a reason to use the leads module. If you need any help with anything, don't hesitate to call our tech support team at 888-838-7487, extension 2. Email them at support@claritysoft.com. And then if you want to give us some critiques, questions, future topic ideas, we're trying to vary our topics so we're not repeating things over and over and over again because we have lots of recordings of the same things. So please give us some new ideas. And then you can email those to info@claritysoft.com. With that, I will let everybody go and have a good rest of the day.